No discipline, no accountability, feeling isolated and unappreciated. These are how some teachers have described their jobs and classrooms. You've heard their emotional concerns in recent weeks here on Fox 26. Well, as promised, I talked with the Chief Academic Officer for Fresno Unified, Dr. Natasha Baker, to find out what the district is doing about it.
So, as you mentioned, we're the third largest school system in the entire state of California. That's 70,000 kids, 10,000 staff, $2 billion budget, right? And we're a very diverse school system, and so we are proud of our diversity. We see it as a strength.
Are we in a crisis here in Fresno Unified?
I don't know that I would use that language, quite honestly.
But others are using that language. First, let's talk about discipline and a searing sentence from a retired campus safety officer.
There is no accountability, there's no expectations, or very little expectations, and there's no discipline.
It's never a concern of mine that we're not hard enough. It's very important that when children make a mistake, that we not only provide a consequence, but we also teach the skill set of self-correction, self-regulation, so that when that child is in that situation again, they are processing it in a way that makes sense, that creates a safer environment for themselves and for their colleagues and their peers.
Now, according to the Teachers Association president, there is no one specific district-wide support plan to do that right now.
We feel as if district leadership doesn't really have a cohesive plan, comprehensive plan to really start with vision and move forward. We think that we do have a plan.
Right now we are in the budget cycle for the school district, and we are in the process of identifying additional supports for all schools.
To not have a plan on how to address the students' needs is criminal.
What about teachers' fears of retribution for speaking out about school concerns?
I've seen teachers have breakdowns and just want to leave.
I can certainly tell you my 7 months in Fresno, the city of Fresno and Fresno Unified, I have not felt that ever. I've never been afraid to have a conversation, and our superintendent has not made us feel that way. I would just say that anybody who's afraid to have a conversation, feel free to reach out to us. Our cell phones are available, our emails. We'd be happy to sit down with anybody who feels like they're too afraid to talk to who they have access to.
That was what led Wawona teachers to tearfully approach the school board a few months ago. But Dr. Baker says the administration quickly responded.
We were able to provide additional leadership support at the school. The plan for safety was co-created by teachers. So the quick intervening involved us identifying experienced leadership to go in immediately the next day, right? Calm the waters, set up some structures.
Which is what was wanted at Wawona and all schools.
Our educators need to be supported in the work that they're doing. Right now, that's not happening in a systemic way. Until it does, we're going to keep on advocating that we move forward with something different.
Now, about grades. According to last year's California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress, this is a look at Fresno Unified students' proficiency in reading and math. 25% of high school juniors met the state standards for reading proficiency. 62% did not. For math, only 9% of high school juniors met the state standards. 88% did not meet the state standards for math.
It's just like any school system. This is not unique to Fresno. Any student who struggles in a course, even in whether it's in high school, middle school, or college, has an opportunity to get a tutor, to have access to credit recovery. It's my belief, given what we have in place, that we're in the right space to make significant gains in the next couple of years. And it is possible for Fresno Unified to be the highest performing urban system in the nation, and we're on that track.
Fresno Unified's numbers, they're not too different from the second largest school district in our state. That's San Diego Unified. Now, where Fresno's reading proficiency right here, numbers are 25%, San Diego is at 30%. When it comes to math, compare Fresno Unified's 9% proficiency with 16% for San Diego. Low for both the second and the third largest school districts in our state. Now, this spring is testing time, and for the first time in years, the state testing will be more like it was before the pandemic. However, Dr. Baker says it is still too early to compare the results of this year's tests with those from 2019. She told me that she's just not comfortable with any direct comparison until they've had the exact same assessment for 2 to 3 years. Now, after we aired this earlier this morning here on Great Day, Manuel Bonilla, Fresno Teachers Association president, who you heard from in that story, reached out to us disputing what Dr. Baker says. He says that Dr. Baker's assertion that the district leadership responded to is, quote, false and reveals Fresno Unified's disconnection from reality. Bonilla sent us this letter that educators and staff members at Wawona signed and sent to Superintendent Bob Nelson on November 2nd. In the letter, they outlined their ongoing and serious concerns. They demanded that the district meet with staff or the Teachers Association leadership by December 2nd. He said district leadership did not show up to a meeting scheduled for December 8th, and that's when Wawona staff went to the school board meeting the following week on December 14th. If you have any concerns about your school, we invite you to call our Fox 26 Crisis in the Classroom hotline, or you can email us at kmphclassroomtips@gmail.com.